Imagine waking up on what feels like a perfectly ordinary morning. The sun rises, traffic builds, people sip their coffee, scrolling through their phones. Nothing seems unusual, but behind the calm surface of daily life, a silent disaster has already begun. Invisible to the eye, unstoppable once set in motion, and by the time anyone realizes what is happening, it is too late. This is the day the dollar dies. For more than a century, the United States dollar has been more than just money. It has been power. Nations stored it as their lifeline. Energy, trade, weapons, technology, all priced in dollars. It was the bedrock of the global financial order. But what if that foundation cracked, suddenly, without warning? What if the most trusted currency in the world became worthless overnight? And before we dive deeper, pause for a moment. If you want to understand how global finance really works, how wars, crises, and empires are shaped by money, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Here, we break down the hidden side of economics and power, so you will always be one step ahead. Because once you see what happens next, you will realize why understanding money is no longer optional. The first tremors do not come from America. They come from Asia. Markets open in Tokyo and plunge. Seoul follows. Hong Kong, too. Rumors spread. Central banks are selling their dollar reserves. The headlines break across the world. The unthinkable is happening. Investors, once calm, now scramble for shelter. Gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, anything but dollars. By the time New York wakes up, the storm has arrived. At 9 o'clock in the morning, giant screens in Times Square turn blood red. Wall Street is in chaos. Stocks tumble. The Dow Jones crashes by billions in minutes. Traders scream into phones. The Federal Reserve scrambles with emergency meetings, promising interventions, promising stability. But promises cannot buy trust. And without trust, the dollar is just paper. What happens next feels unreal. In grocery stores, the price tags change by the hour. A loaf of bread that cost $2 yesterday now costs $20. Gas stations run dry. Not because oil has disappeared, but because foreign sellers refuse to accept dollars. Truck drivers demand payment in euros, yuan, or gold before moving goods. Shelves go empty. Streets fill with anger. In Washington, panic takes hold. Politicians hold press conferences, declaring wage freezes, price controls, even laws banning the hoarding of foreign currencies. They try to force belief back into the system. But belief is not something you can legislate. Once trust is broken, no decree can bring it back. And this is only the beginning. Across Latin America, nations buckle under the pressure. Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, their debts, denominated in dollars, become impossible to repay. Banks fail. Governments collapse. Protests explode in the streets. The financial contagion spreads faster than any virus. Meanwhile, on American soil, the nightmare deepens. Families rush to automated teller machines only to find them empty. Credit cards are declined. Life savings vanish in hours. People who once believed their dollars guaranteed safety now face hunger and desperation. And then, in the midst of this chaos, a chilling announcement is made. A rival power steps forward. China declares the digital yuan, the new global reserve currency. The European Union rallies behind the euro. Oil-rich nations strike deals, excluding the dollar entirely. In weeks, a century of American dominance evaporates. The empire of the dollar collapses, and with it, America's influence over the world. But here is the terrifying part. Collapses do not happen slowly. They do not give warnings. They strike like lightning. People imagine decades of decline. But history tells a different story. Rome's currency did not erode gently. It shattered. Weimar Germany's mark did not fade, it exploded in hyperinflation. Argentina, Zimbabwe, Venezuela all remind us of a brutal truth. When faith in money disappears, society itself is thrown into chaos. So ask yourself, what would you do? If tomorrow your paycheck turned worthless, your savings evaporated, and the grocery store refused to sell without a foreign currency, how would you survive? Do you hold gold? Cryptocurrency, property, or nothing at all? Because this story is not fantasy, it is not prophecy. It is a possibility, and possibilities have a way of turning real when the world least expects it. The scariest part? The day the dollar dies will not announce itself. There will be no countdown, no sirens, no warnings, only silence, until it is too late. And when that silence comes, the world will never be the same. The day the dollar dies.